Hello and welcome back to dWi 24/7, coming to you again from an undisclosed location to prevent shenanigans. And speaking of shenanigans, there's some foul stuff going on with that CDS. Might be some reprogramming in his future. So you get the game and the doc, the franchise, on the mic.
That's right, because it's the franchise that brings it to you, just like the dWi 24/7. Anytime, anywhere, anyone, you can get some action. And that's what we're going to see tonight. It's plenty of action. And what I'm seeing is that Fleabag?
Well, you know, Doc, I did hear the dinner bell, so I guess he thinks there is some puppy chow in the ring, but I'm looking at the Fleabag and what's going on with this attire?
That's what the doc's talking about. He's wearing this cheap old wife beater. What happened to his nice blue costume that he used to wear? But you know, rumor has it, ever since the Fleabag left Lethal Injection, his earnings have dropped significantly. They don't buy the t-shirts anymore, the posters aren't being hung up, and I think maybe what we're seeing is a reflection of the times.
Oh, indeed, Doc, no question about that. Since the Fleabag left Lethal Injection, it's been nothing but a downward spiral for him, and I'm afraid it's going to continue. I don't think that the puppy's fangs have grown in, and when he goes up against the Lethal Predator RD for the dWi Championship at the finale, well, if you ask me, he's bitten off a lot more than he's going to be able to chew.
Oh yeah, you know he's going to have more than a mouthful with the Lethal Predator RD. I think all this puppy's going to do is be running around in circles, chasing his tail, being scolded and whipped on until he's finally laid out in the middle of the ring for the 1, 2, 3. But speaking of laying people out in the middle of the ring, none knows it any better than the current World Tag Team Champion, and that's the One.
Indeed, Doc, and the One once again coming out focused and ready to fight. And if I had to say so, I would say that the One, he's been the person who's taken most advantage of 24/7. He's issued plenty of challenges, and he has not backed down on any challenge issued to him. He's always ready to compete and fight, and he's made Lethal Injection very proud.
And that's how you make Lethal Injection proud. You go out there and you get the challenges, and the people that are running scared from you, you go out there, you hunt them down, and then you get them. And that's what we're going to see tonight, is the One hunting down the little Fleabag and getting what's his.
Indeed, and look at the One starting off very quickly, and you know, this is what we were talking about earlier. I'm looking at Ben Doc in the ring here, topless.
Yeah, I noticed that Ben's riding topless, and I'm scared thinking that maybe he's falling into that same type of trap that the other Sparrow Enterprise employees do. They have to get the extra income, and unfortunately they have to turn to adult entertainment.
Oh, well, Doc, if he's doing that, that would be so disgusting, make you spill some wine. And I really hope that Ben hasn't stooped down to that level, because, you know, those disgusting acts that those Sparrow Enterprise employees do, it's just terrible. And you know, though, Doc, but if you are talking topless, no one knows that better than Kato.
That's right, Kato is the masteress of toplessnesses. But, you know, the Doc's eye is still a little injured from that last match. I'm having a hard time seeing with the Fleabag, but it looks like his areolas look extremely dark from this angle. I'd hate to think that he's painting his nipples.
Oh, Doc, that would just be another sad tale indeed. And, you know, if he was doing that, he might be giving a signal to Blozo that he wants some extra special tippy-toe time in the locker room.
Oh my, that would be so disgusting to see that. But you know what the Doc likes to see is how the One has been bringing it to the Fleabag this whole match, move after move. He's been showing more moves tonight than Kato on a Friday night.
Indeed, Doc, and look at the One, slamming Ben to the mat, showing why he's a world-class athlete and an elite member of Lethal Injection. And you know, he made this challenge to Ben. He said no Lethal Injection members at ringside, no one from Sparrow Enterprises at ringside. It's going to be 1-on-1, and we're going to have a winner here tonight.
And that is in the true tradition of the Lethal Administration. We based it on fairness, we based it on giving, and that's what you're going to be seeing tonight. No one's going to be ringside, just going to be two combatants in the ring, fighting out to see who is the best. And right now, the best looks to be the One.
No question about that, Doc. Speaking of giving, the One staying on Ben, giving him a huge beat down here, and I have to wonder, with the way the one is taking care of the Fleabag, what chance does the Fleabag have against RD at the finale?
Well, the doc has to say his chances are going to be 0 to none that he's going to get any type of win over the Lethal Predator.
Oh, and look at that, Doc. It's the Vision. I think this match might be over.
Call Sarah Jane, start up the forklift.
Oh, and Ben kicks out. It looks like the one's going to have to do a little more work here. And speaking of that, Ben's going to have to show us a hell of a lot more heart, more determination and fight if he has any hope of taking the gold from the Lethal Predator.
Indeed and agreed. Ben's going to have to bring his A game. I haven't seen that tonight. All I've seen was the one manhandling him and slapping him around like he's some redheaded stepchild.
Oh, no question, Doc. Now look at the one continuing to stay on Ben here. You know, I think like the rest of us, he's been sick and tired of what he's seen since Ben's return. He's seen dirty jobber tricks. He's seen him using weapons. And the one, he's out here saying, Ben, give me your best shot. I'm going to give you my best. And if you want to fight on the floor, well, we're going to fight on the floor.
And that's what we have seen. The one first started off in the ring, giving Ben the opportunity to show his skills there, and nothing happened. The one dominated. Now the one's taking him outside of the ring, saying, come on, Ben, you want to take your jobber trick? You want to take your cheap shot? Let's see what you got. And again, Ben shows nothing.
Indeed, and you know, I think the one's also sending a huge message to those cyborgs, Cyron and Cyberwolf. He's telling them, boys, if you think you're going to take the tag team titles away from myself and the Rugged Rebel, well, hell, you got another thing coming.
Yes, those cyborgs have to be scared. I'm sure they're taking notes, because they know that they would have the hardest time to even bringing it to Ben's level. And here the one is easily again in control of the match, manhandling the Fleabag.
Indeed, you know, it's amazing, Doc, how those cyborgs can keep running their mouth against Lethal Injection, and yet they've done nothing. But look at the one, he's doing something. Bust Ben open on the ring post.
Oh my, that's how you do it the hard way. The Lethal Injection way, baby.
Indeed, but look at the one, Doc. He's posing out there, showing off to the crowd a little bit. You know, he's been dominating, but I have to say, you need to stay on the Fleabag. You can't ignore him.
That's true. You can't be showing off, and you can't be posing. The only pose that Lethal Injection does is getting our hands raised in the middle of the ring for the 1, 2, 3 win.
Indeed, and look at Ben, though. He is trying to fire back up to the shoulders now, and a stroke of midnight. Wait a minute, the one's busted open. Is there something on that tape on those wrists, Doc?
Oh, there has to be. There's no way that someone's going to be laid out and busted open from one little move like that.
And the 3 count, is this some type of joke? There's some type of shenanigans going on. We're going to have to check that tape.
Oh, this is, there will be some checking going on. And what's this? What did I just see? I just saw Ben take something out of the tape and stick it in his trunks. This is an outrage, and this will not be put up with or stood for.
Look at that incompetent referee missing that. You know, the Lethal Administration, we're only trying to have good, clean competition out here, no shenanigans, and yet they continue to try and creep in. Well, as we head toward the dWi finale, these type of jobber tricks will not be tolerated.
Indeed and agreed.